It's time to go!
Hello everyone and welcome to Claude and the Banstas. This is our all-time Premiership 11 today. Happy Easter to everyone and hello in the comments. We've got a great guest with us today. We've got Gooner Eye. Chig, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well.
I'm good, mate. I'm just dealing with this lockdown the way everyone else is, I guess, but not too bad. How are you? How are you guys? You all right?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. It ain't been too bad for me at the moment, as people already know. I'm still working at the moment, and you know I'm treating this bank holiday as a really good 4 days off for me. But how about yourself, Claude? I know you've been struggling a bit, mate.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I've had a big row with the landlord here today. Not landlord, but well, I call it a landlord. Anyway, everything not bad. Struggling with this. The only thing I'm struggling with is when I'm going shopping, and because the people are not doing that 2 meter apart thing. Apart from that, you know, look, I've got my little bottle of wine, having a glass of wine, chilling, and looking forward to the show.
Yeah, it's been good. And what fellow Bansta with us, Diesel? How you doing, mate? You okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Do you know what just makes me laugh? I was in the garden earlier, sitting out in the garden, sunshine, and typical this country, in a split second, thunder, and you think, what? Am I surprised? No. But listen, other than that, it's been a lovely day weather-wise until the last 5-10 minutes. Much appreciated for Chig coming on. It's a pleasure, mate. I watch you every week. And like I said offline, mate, you're the reason I'm putting on serious weight. So thank you, Chig.
But other than that, at least there's 2 of us, mate. At least there's 2 of us.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate. I'll say it's relaxed, but clearly it's not.
Terry, I want to start before we start. Terry, I want to. There's 2 big people have lost their lives today. One is great people of the past, Peter Bonetti, Chelsea legend. Played in the World Cup in 1970 when he deputised for Gordon Banks. Rest in peace, Peter Bennett. I'm not sure if it's the virus that done him, but rest in peace to him and all his family and friends. My thoughts are with them. Also, another celebrity from the Goodies, isn't it? Is it Tim Brooke? Tim Brooke Taylor, is it? Yeah, and that's another very sad loss.
And Sterling,
well. And of course the great motor racing driver Sterling Moss. Our thoughts are out to him and their friends and family involved. Yeah, so let's raise a. I'm going to raise a glass on here because they've given Britain a great lift over the years. So rest in peace.
And I just want to say a quick big up to Lee Judges, who was supposed to come on today, but he had a little incident and he can't make it today. So just hope all's all right with Lee. Sending our wishes to him, and hopefully he can come on next time. So, right.
Cool.
Yeah. Right, so the reason why we're here, everyone, is to do our all-time Premiership 11. As we go through it, everyone in the comments, please let us know who you would pick. So what we'll do is, Chig, is that we'll go through each one of us. We'll pick our player for that position. And if it's 2-2, we'll let the people in the comments pick which one they want to put in that 11.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay, mate. So, Claude, let's start with the goalkeeper then. Our goalkeeper of the Premiership.
This is it's a very difficult one, and I'm thinking of Schmeichel, I'm thinking of Seaman, Petacek. Even David De Gea comes into the bracket as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Petr Cech for his time at Chelsea, not for his time at Arsenal, for his time at Chelsea. That's my number one.
Oh, okay.
Overall, but it's very difficult because there's nothing between them, the goalkeepers.
Yeah, no, that's a good choice. Okay, all right, Diesel.
Yeah, it was between two for me, but the thing with doing this list, guys, is I've not been biased. If I was, obviously, it'd be a completely different list. But I'm going obviously purely as a football fan, and for me, this goalkeeper is in my era, he's the best I've seen, and I've got to, all rivalries aside, I've got to go for Schmeichel. He's the best I've seen. He was at the top for a long time. It was very between him and Seaman. Schmeichel for me just edges it. Otherwise, I'd have gone for Seaman. So Schmeichel's mine. Yeah.
Okay, not bad. All right, Chig.
Yeah, for me, I think it was between three of them. I think Cech, Schmeichel, and Seaman. I couldn't put David in there without feeling like I'm being biased, if I'm being honest. So it was out of Schmeichel and Cech for me, and I went with Schmeichel. I hated him so much, and it was only because he was so good. And that's the main reason I hated him. Much like Ian Wright actually admitted last week. He said he used to hate him when he was playing because he was so good. And for me, it was the same thing. I hated him because he was so good. And he was a leader. He was everything you want a player in his position to be. And yeah, Petr Schmeichel for sure is my number one.
Okay, no, that's a great choice, Chig. For me, it was between two. Obviously, you've already said Schmeichel and Seaman. For me, I love Seaman. I think he was fantastic for us. Not only did in the era that we was fantastic, not only did you have to get past Omri and Bergkamp and then Vieira and Petit and then Adams and Keown or Sol Campbell, you still then had to beat David Seaman. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And the best thing about Dave Seaman for me is he just made goalkeeping look so easy. You know what I mean? The ball would come over from across, he'd catch it, no problem. He wouldn't punch it away. Do you know what I mean? When he go for a save, he'd catch the ball, and he was brilliant. But like you said, Chig, and Diesel, Schmeichel for me was just that little bit better, I think. Only slightly. It was just a little bit better. So for me, I've got to go for Schmeichel and all, boys. So I think the goalkeeper-wise, we've got to have Schmeichel in goal for the Premiership 11, boys. Three of us have picked him. Unfortunately, Claude, you got outvoted there, but another great pick in Cech.
No, that's fine. No, it's just that's my opinion, and I think that there was nothing between the three keepers for me. But my opinion with Cech, because also with the I just put him just that little bit ahead. But no, it's my opinion. I'm getting outvoted. I will get outvoted on a lot of these, I think, tonight. Today.
You never know, Claude. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, there are other keepers that come into it, but before the Premier League come into it, as someone has just come on there and said, but we're talking about Premier League. If you're going further back, you could got the likes of Neville Southall. You've got all these other goalkeepers that come into the equation. But we are talking about Premier League, aren't we?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going on to the right back now.
Right back. Go on in, Claude.
Right back.
Yeah, right back, mate. Go on. Everyone in the comments, you're right back. Who is it?
You know what? I could be biased and go for Lee Dixon, but I'm going to go for Gary Neville on this one. But I could have been biased and said Lee Dixon, but I'm going to, because I don't want to be biased, I'm going to go for Gary Neville.
Yeah, no, that's a great choice, mate. I understand where you're coming from. Diesel?
Yeah, I agreed with Claude. I'll put Gary Neville in straight away. If I'm honest, this position was probably one of the easiest for me because, and again, you know, without being biased, similar to what Chig said about Schmeichel, Gary Neville, I never liked him as a player, and I think a lot of that is because he was that good. He epitomised. He was not only a leader, he was consistent. No one can say Gary Neville was absolute. You know, was tech as he was technical, but what he had, he reliable. You know, reliable. He could defend. You know, and he epitomised on the pitch what Sir Alex Ferguson was off it. Very trade union type, very regimental, and he was up there for a long time. You know, and that's how I look at Gary Neville. He was just one of those right backs you just hated playing against. So for me, he goes in all day long.
No, totally agree with you, Diesel. There, Chig.
Yeah, I to be honest, I completely agree with what Diesel said. I think there are a lot of honourable mentions. So you could put Sanya in there. You could put Lauren in there. He's an invincible. You could put. Okay, let me try and not be completely Arsenal centric. You could put Zabaleta in there, for example. You could put a lot of different types, but for me, I think given his success, given how hard he worked, very rarely did you see. He wasn't amazingly quick, but for some reason was just very intelligent with how he positioned himself. And I think for that reason, to me, he's a standout choice. I'd put Neville all day long. All day long.
Yeah. No, brilliant choice. Huge three. Same again. Gary Neville for me. I thought he's had an outstanding career. Let's be honest, for United. He's had an outstanding career for England and all. Let's not forget that. You know what I mean? Whenever he was not injured, he was #1 pick for Man United and England. And I just think, he pips it over everyone, like everyone said. So for me and all, it's got to be Gary Neville as our right back for the Premiership 11.
I've got to say, sorry, Tal, I've just got to say, I think for me, a runner-up to him was Ivanovic at Chelsea, because I just a shout out to him because I thought he was amazing.
Yeah, me too. In his prime, I thought he was. In fact, a little bit past his prime, he was still really good. He was a good shout.
Yeah, so no, we've gone for Gary Neville then. It was unanimous there, Claude. So we've got him as our right back. So let's go on the other side, left back, Claude.
Left back for me, there's no doubt about it. For Chelsea and for Arsenal, it's got to be Ashley Cole for me. There's no doubt about it. I don't think there's anyone that can actually match Ashley Cole on this one. I've got to go Ashley Cole.
Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. Diesel?
That's only because it's Premier League. If you're going back, I would have gone Kenny. Kenny Sampson, but as it's Premier League, I'm going to go Ashley Cole.
Okay, just before we come to you, Diesel, Alexander, thank you very much for your contribution, mate. He's put from a different generation, Neville Southall, the best keeper I've ever seen. Save an amazing header from Barnes. He shook his hands in salute. Yeah, he was a great keeper, Neville Southall.
I agree, and that's why I mentioned that earlier, because it's not Premier League. Southall was an incredible keeper. I remember a game actually where when Everton won the league that year, it was at White Hart Lane he played, and he was outstanding. He kept Everton in the game. Absolutely outstanding keeper. Fantastic keeper. Fantastic goal.
Yeah, no, he was a fantastic keeper. Thank you for your contribution there, Alexander. Diesel, back.
Right, let me just refer to my pad. I put Ashley Cole as well. Listen, I don't off the pitch. I'm not a lover of this guy. I'm not. But and, do you know what? To be fair to him, from a football sense, I don't think he gets the recognition.
I agree.
And I'm on about from a football sense, right? He doesn't get anywhere near the recognition I think he does deserve, because at one point, if we're all honest, he was the best left back in the world. He was easy. And to be honest, it was great for us went to Chelsea, and in my opinion, elevated himself even more. He won the lot, and I can't think of many left backs who have had Ronaldo in their pocket. Not once, not twice, several times. So for me, yeah, you can't look past Ashley Cole.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with everything you said there, Diesel. Chig?
Yeah.
For me, this was a little bit closer than a Gary Neville choice, but I went Ashley Cole as well. Similar to Diesel, I don't think he's even had half the recognition really that he should have had. Him as a person is another discussion, but you could argue that he was proven right in the end with the continued success that he had. I did consider Irwin, Dennis Irwin, Evra. I did consider those guys. Yeah. I thought Irwin was an excellent player. I thought he was an excellent player.
Yeah,
he could play both sides of the ball. Every time United had a penalty, you considered it a goal. He never missed. The keeper never looked like saving it either. He was a great free kick taker as well. So I did consider those guys, but I think for me, Ashley Cole, to me, at the time Ashley was playing in that transition of like between 03 to 06, was the best left back in the world, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me, Ashley
you've got
Cole.
a great point about Dennis Irwin. I mean, he was very consistent, but to me, he's not in the same class. As I said, someone's just put on the comment. He was the first on his team sheet, on Alex Ferguson's team sheet. But I just feel Ashley Cole was just that superior to everyone. I just felt that way. Anyway.
You know what? I totally agree with you, Claude. For me, Dennis Irwin, he weren't one of them players that shone in that Man United team. He was just very consistent, like you said. Very strong, very great free kick taker, penalty taker. He just done his job every single game. Do you know what I mean? Every single game, he was consistent. And for that, I hated him. I did. I don't know why. I think it was his face. It was just the same every time. Do you know what I mean? There was no expression whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And it just wound me up every time I see him. But for me, I've got to go with you boys again. Ashley Cole, I'm going to call him, because you know what I mean? If he would have stayed with us, he would have been the best left back in the world. But because he left us, he weren't, in my eyes. Do you know what I mean? But he still was a fantastic player. But like you said, Diesel, I've said it before on this show. Off the pitch, he's not a nice man in my eyes. You know, I've had an experience where
I just want to answer. Someone just asked me about Ty. I just want to answer that. Ty's okay. I just phoned him up the other day. People are concerned about Ty because he's not been on a lot. He just doesn't want to. He just doesn't feel right at the moment to talk about anything. He's just concerned about people's lives and everything like that, and he just wants to be out of everything altogether. So, but he's okay. Ty's okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, so we've got Cole as our left back then. We've got another super chat from the blind Gooner Daniel. Hope you're well, mate. Happy Easter to you. Afternoon, guys. Hope you're all well.
Happy Easter, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Thank you very much for that, Daniel. And hopefully we're going to have Daniel on very soon. Anyway, I'm going to have Daniel on with
Glenn.
Well, we'll definitely have Daniel on soon on our show. What are we going? We've done the left back now. Ashley Cole is the winner there.
Yeah, we've done the left back. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna go two centre halves now, and this is the difficult one. This is a really difficult one.
This is difficult.
I'm gonna go with Adams and Yap Stan.
Oh.
Wow. Oh, flip. I didn't even consider Yap Stan.
I forgot all about him, to be honest.
Good chat, Claude. Good shout.
Yeah, good chat, mate.
Oh, no. Good shout. Yeah. That's,
what's your reasons for that, Claude?
I just felt Yap Stan. I watched Yap Stan. I just thought he was an outstanding defender. Before the fallout with Fergie, I think the only reason he left United is because he had a row with Ferguson and he spoke the truth for what He spoke his mind, and I thought he was an outstanding defender.
Do you remember that?
I rate him really highly.
Do you remember that day? Because
yeah, I remember.
He was in IKEA, I think. He was in IKEA getting some furniture for his house. Yeah, damn. And then he got a message from the club, United, and said that you've been sold to wherever he went. He didn't even know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like Roy Keane, what happened with Roy Keane? He spoke his mind, and Roy Keane was at the club.
Yeah,
and I've always got a lot of. I love Roy Keane. I wish he was an Arsenal player, Roy Keane. But I've always loved Stam. I'm a big fan of Stam. That's my opinion, but it might throw a few of you off. But that's how I see it. Stam and Adams. And the reason I picked Tony Adams, and I don't want to be biased, but what a leader, what a captain, what phenomenal leader. And that goal against Everton summed him all up, really. He did something. He was the one that went to Wenger in '98 and said we need a meeting with the players, and he changed things, and that was the turning point of our season in '98. Yeah. He said we're not doing the things right defensively, and we changed things around, and I don't think. And I love Vieira. I don't think he's been the better leader of our football club. There we go.
No, I think you're absolutely right there, Claude, about Adams. Diesel. Oh, consulting. He's changing it. While you're there. That's what you're doing.
Do you guys remember Andy Linnigan? I'm joking.
No, come on.
Listen, he scored a great goal for us in a cup.
No, respect. When he first started at Arsenal, he wasn't about. He slowly coming back. He was a good backup. No, I'm not having a go. He wasn't a bad defender, Linnigan.
I'm only joking. He got nowhere near it. No, listen. So basically, so these two positions I struggle with a lot, and I must admit, in the morning I put someone in, and then in the last hour I had to change it. Originally, I'm not going to lie, I had Rio Ferdinand and I had Terry, and I had to change it. I can't leave out Adams. Rio Ferdinand for me, skillful, elegant, a little bit ahead of his time, if I'm honest, because I think a centre half like him, ball playing quick, what would he be worth today? But you just can't. Adams for me is the best centre half I've seen. Captain, leader, legend. And I had to I changed it. So I've put Adams in and I've put John Terry in. John Terry's another one off the pitch. I cannot stand this bloke. Can't stand him. And I'll never forget an interview when Man City beat Chelsea and Craig Bellamy did a famous interview where he even came out and said, off the pitch, everyone knows what John Terry's like in football, but that's off the pitch.
Yeah. On
the pitch, I have to respect him as a captain and as a player and what he does. And for me, John Terry's the closest thing I've seen to Tony Adams. The closest thing. No one else, in my opinion, comes close. And to have those two captains, leaders, to have them two side by side, what I would give to see that. So for me, I had to pick those two. But Claude, good shout on Stam. Very good shout on Stam.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, Diesel. Chig?
Yeah, for me, this one and striker, I changed my mind several times. Like Diesel, I actually started with Terry and Ferdinand. It's now completely different. I think they would be my third and fourth. But for me, I think you've got to put Adams in there. It's going to sound so Arsenal biased, but to me, every time we buy a defender, I think to myself, does he exhibit anything of Tony Adams? Just anything. Yeah. Leadership, strength, power, presence, just anything that Tony Adams exhibited. And I don't do that for any other defender.
Yeah.
So I don't compare any defender we get with any other defender. So I had to put him in. Then Claude did something and mentioned Yap Stam. And I was like, oh, yeah. And for everything I said about Schmeichel, Stam, it was just as bad. Every time he was playing for United, I hated him. I hated him with a passion because to me, I thought he was the perfect defender. He had a little bit of acceleration. He was big, bold, dominating, everything I like in a defender. Even when I was at school, I tried to play like him. You know, he is exactly what I like in a defender. No nonsense, would talk on the pitch. And can you imagine a defense with Stam and Adams in it? Jeez.
Yeah.
Who's messing around with that?
Chig, if them two were together, I'm telling you now, games would have been won in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Exactly.
So yeah, I have to agree with Claude. I've got to put Adams and Stam in there. I think that defense would be amazing.
Okay.
I really do. But honorable mentions quickly for as much as listen, he played for the Scum. I thought Ledley King was a fantastic defender, given the fact he never trained. Never trained. Still produced high caliber performances all the time. I mentioned Rio. I thought Rio was probably still one of the best ball-playing centre-backs we've seen in the Premier League. Terry, say what you want about him off the pitch, and I said plenty. I thought an excellent centre-back. And also, lastly, Company. Company, listen, I know he was
Christ, another one.
But Man City became 2-3 levels of a better team whenever Company was on the pitch. And it wasn't much, but to be, I thought, another one who was a fantastic defender. And if he had even half the injuries he had, he would have made a lot of people's all-time Premier League list, in my opinion.
I mean, obviously, Alexander's got a super chat here. Terry closest to Adam. True, I give Adams advantage. I totally agree with that, Alexander. I would throw in Sol Campbell with that. I think he had a brilliant career, especially when he come to us. Solid defender. Without him, we wouldn't have done as much as what we've done, I don't think. He was a brilliant defender. Obviously, you've got Virgil van Dijk and all at the moment, who's, one of the best defenders in the Premiership at the moment. But for me, guys, I mean, this is going to be hard because now I think we're going to have to throw it back to the comments because I'm going to go with Adams and Terry. Same as Diesel. Adams, like Paul said, I mean, just an enormous person on and off the pitch. You know what I mean? If you was a manager and you had a player like Adam, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? There's not much you would need to do, say, or teach with a man or a player like him. Do you know what I mean? He would do it all for you as a captain. And what a role model, really. I mean, I know he had a couple of incidents off the pitch and that, but I mean, player-wise, and he was the player's pet. Let's be honest, the manager's pet. So Adam, for me, he's in there all day long. You can't even dislodge him for anyone. And for me, Terry, if I had Terry and Adams as my two centre backs, I mean, let's be honest, you got defending, you've got putting your body on the line at all times. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that tackle that Terry done against us in the final, or was it the Coca-Cola Cup final, whatever it was, Worthing Cup final, when he basically headed the floor and headed the ball away, and then he got booted in the head by who was that? The Arby, yeah. Absolutely booted him in the head, and he had to go off, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, that's what I want as two defenders. So
I guess the debate then is between Stam and Terry.
Yeah.
No, what I will say on this, right, and I'll come back to Ledley King, and I'll make a point on Ledley King as well. I think if he'd have stayed fit, he would have got over 100 caps for England.
100%.
Absolutely unbelievable defender. Injuries cost him his career. Unbelievable defender. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And boys, sorry. I'm just going to say.
Well, mate.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, but this is the thing as well. This is another part of why some of these defenders and why I picked those two in particular, and obviously you guys mentioned Stam as well. It's not just how they play, it's not just the leadership, but I look at things like, I mean, some of these players played when they were like 50% fit. You know what I mean? I've seen, we've seen Terry and a few of the others, head bandaged up, and still wanting to be on that pitch, not letting, something minor like a broken leg or anything stop them. And for that, I look at those sort of things as well, and I think, you know what, courageous, and wanting to do it for the team, and obviously putting themselves last, putting the team first. It's those things. It's a mentality thing, and that also counts. Yeah, it's not just how they play. It's obviously it's a lot more behind it as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Diesel. Totally agree. Yeah. So we're going to have to go to the comments then. So let's see who gets the first 10 names on the board. It's either out of John Terry or Yap Stamp. So who are we going to give it to? In the comments. So we got DT what he deserved. DRB gave Yap Stamp there. DRB gave JT what he deserved. Right, we've got 2 for Terry. We've got none for Stamp yet at the moment.
We've
got Stamp.
I think a lot of people will go for Terry.
Terry. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Terry, boys. So our back 5 at the moment for our All-Star Premiership 11. We've got Schmeichel in goal. We've got Neville right back. We've got Ashley Cole left back, and we've got Adams and Terry as our centre backs. I'll tell you what, boys, we'll take that all day long at the moment, won't we?
Oh, Christ, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's great.
My only worry about the centre backs, pace in that centre backs, but yeah, I think it'll be good. A formidable team, formidable defence.
I mean, that's only half the team at the moment, Chig.
I knew I'd be out alone on this one, but
no.
But I just love Stam.
Listen, I think you gave
a lot of these though are probably didn't see Stam play as well, so it's a bit hard really. But Terry's a great choice as well. But John Terry's a real leader, and maybe I didn't like what he done off the pitch, but I respect him as a footballer and a leader. So now, should we go to the next category?
Yeah, let's go left wing.
Are we going 4-4-2 here?
Yeah, 4-4-2.
Yeah, 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to go the 2 midfielders. In my opinion, I'd have there because one can go forward, one can. I'm going to have Vieira and Keane.
Okay. And your reasons, Claude?
I don't think you can get a better combination, mate. I think they're both fighters. They're both very skillful. Both can disciplined. I just don't think you get a better combination than them two. Okay. But a better combination than them two. You go all night long with me, but no, not for me. Keane and Vieira.
Okay, no,
I know everyone's going to go about Gerrard and all Lampard. I know what's going on, but them two, they got everything for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, mate. So, Diesel.
Right, to everyone watching, don't get it twisted. Right, some of these players I've not mentioned, I will take them tomorrow. Right?
You're going to put Ozil in there, aren't you?
Oh, God.
I'm not going to lie, he come close. On the next page, I've got the worst 11. He's definitely in that. But anyway, didn't even have to think about that one. No, right, okay. So my 2 middle, the essential. I've gone 4, and this was one of the easiest for me because I love this bloke. I have to put Steven Gerrard in there. I have to. I've gone for Gerrard, and this next guy I'm going to mention, I loved him so much. Even now as a pundit, I've gone for Roy Keane. Sorry, Gerrard for me. I'll tell you something, Gerrard. As much as I love Vieira, and Vieira's a legend, captain, love watching him. But Gerrard, I've seen a player. He won games on his own. Won them on his own. And he done that season in, season out, right? And a lot of the teams he was in, right, were poor. Gerrard, for me, anywhere on that pitch, and don't forget, he played a number of positions as well. Yeah. Didn't look out of place. Did not look out of place. You know, a one-club man. And yeah, for me, I could name you games where obviously they were sort of 2-0 down, 1-0 down, very close to losing, and Gerrard somehow just kept pulling it out the bag. And for me, he's absolute class for me. And so I've got to put Gerrard in there. And Roy Keane, I'm telling you, you've got Roy Keane in your team, you're not losing. He was Sir Alex Ferguson's mouthpiece on that pitch. He was the manager on that pitch. He had no trouble in calling out his teammates if they were playing poor. You know, they weren't on it. A lot of the games they won were down to him. And one thing I respect him for very quickly was that game. I think it was a semi-final when he got booked and he couldn't play in the final. And a lot of players of today would have cried, moaned, and whinged. He made sure, even though he couldn't play in the final, he made sure he battled to make sure his boys got there. And for me, that is the ultimate respect to him. So Roy Keane and Gerrard for me. Okay,
no, that's a great shout, mate. Great shout. Chig?
Well, normally I agree with what Diesel says 9 times out of 10. I honestly don't know how he cannot have Patrick Vieira in the team. I don't get it. I think for me, Vieira was everything I would expect a central midfielder to be. Yeah. He could score goals, he could tackle, he could track back, he had great vision, he could pass, he was a fighter. He exhibits everything I would want in the centre midfield. He was the heartbeat of Arsenal for so long. And the real truth of the matter is we've yet to replace him. I would argue we have been closer to replace Thierry Henry. We've been closer in replacing Thierry Henry than we have in replacing Patrick Vieira. And that is a testament to his quality to me. Yeah. And so I think Patrick Vieira has to go in there all day long. And I promise, me and Claude have not been discussing this beforehand. I'd put Keane in there. I'd put Roy Keane in there all day long. I think I love him as a pundit, but I hated him as a player. And I hated him, and you guys can see my formula. If I hated you as a player, it probably means because you were good. And he was so good. Yeah. He was so good. Probably actually didn't get enough plaudits while he was playing. For his style of play, because it wasn't necessarily the most elegant, but it was effective. It was so effective, and you know him and Keane, they've said it before. They produced the best out of each other when they were playing against each other. Imagine what they do in the same team, just absolutely motivating each other and discussing and talking and screaming at each other to demand the best out of each other. Imagine what that would do for your team. And I think for me, all day long, I think you've got to put Keane and Vieira in the centre part, in the central midfield of that team. I think that would be a formidable side. I think Gerrard, you could definitely make a case for him. I do think, I know a lot of people don't, I do think that success has a little element in my choices. He hasn't had the domestic success. All right, he's had the Champions League success, but he hasn't had the domestic success that his quality deserves. Yeah. And he was a close third, but for me, I all day long, Keane and Vieira. All day long.
I can't disagree with you there, but I will do, Chig. I will disagree with you.
I'll never forget. Sorry. I'll never forget when he was Nottingham Forest. I wanted to sign Roy Keane. I wanted Arsenal to sign him. That's how much I rate the guy. I do rate him. I mean, you don't like his punditry. I love his punditry because he says
I love him.
I love him.
He don't mess about, and I love his punditry as well. I love the what he says. He says what he means, and when he has a go at Arsenal, I fucking agree with him.
Yeah, me too. I never disagree. There's not even a little part of it I disagree with. It's amazing.
That's because we're all scared, really, innit?
I will say this. I agree with him. I agree with him, Chig. I agree with him.
Oh, I agree.
When we're celebrating nonsense, he said it. I agree with him.
I agree.
But our fan base have got to get a fucking life. because they don't like it. But he tells it how it is.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this: honourable mentions. Paul Scholes. I thought was a genius player.
Yeah, top player.
And I know a lot of United fans will probably be watching this thinking, "What? You not have Paul Scholes in there?" I get it. If you want to argue me, I completely understand it. Frank Lampard. Hey, you can't argue with his goals. You can't argue with his goals. I wouldn't put Cesc in there. I just wouldn't. I'll be honest. This is just me being real.
No, you're a joke.
Yeah.
And for people saying Jordan Henderson is too early.
Oh, Jordan.
Don't even mention that name on this. Do not mention that name on this podcast. Don't mention that name on this podcast.
Chig, strike one, Chig.
I said I wouldn't. No time. The rat that left the sinking ship. The rat that left the sinking ship. That's what Fabregas is. No more.
Santi Cazorla's a good shout, though.
Yeah, Santi's a great shout.
He said, I would never play for Chelsea. I would never play for Chelsea. What did he do? He played for Chelsea. Get lost. Get lost. I don't want to talk about that.
Let's be honest, Paul. He's no better than Ashley Cole. They're both the same. I put them both in the same bracket, to be honest.
Ashley Cole, I'm going to defend Ashley Cole here. Ashley Cole, like you and anyone else in there, if you're promised by your governor, right, that you're going to get this amount of money and then you're told you're not going to get it right after, you have every right to be. It's a principle thing. Don't matter how much money it is. I'm back on that thing. I'm backing Cole. I don't like the way he done it, but I'm backing him on the principle.
Yeah. Guys, sorry, can I just say as well? Sorry, one last thing. The centre mid, there was one person who I didn't put him in, but in terms of an honourable mention, Makalele was very close.
Yeah.
Good shout. Excellent shout.
You know, I had to.
Excellent shout.
Class.
Excellent shout. And Omar, that goes for you who's saying that we're so Arsenal biased. Look at us shouting a Chelsea player out.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So many, isn't there, Chig? So many.
Oh, there's so great midfielders, really. Do you know what I mean? For me, like I said, I'm going to disagree with Chig. Only on one of them. One I totally agree with, and I can't believe you didn't pick him, Diesel. I'm disappointed in you, sir. I might have to sub you out next time. And that's
sorry.
Just before we do, Alexander's Paul Scholes, best player in the world at his position, so skillful, so magical. Yeah, I mean, like Chig said, you know what I mean? There'd be a load of people out there saying that he should be in the team, and I would totally agree with them. Do you know what I mean? But it just comes down to personal preferences. And for me, the first one would be Patrick Vieira all day long. I mean, if you're a player, like you said, like Tony Adams would be, and John Terry and Roy Keane, if you were standing next to Patrick Vieira in the same team in that tunnel, you would go out to battle and everyone would fight for you. You know what I mean? He was absolutely fantastic. He wins tackles, he had speed, he got back, he got up front, he scored goals. Fantastic captain, as well as Tony Adams. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. So for me, Vieira is definitely first choice for me. I was debating on this other one, the same as what you were saying. The only reason why I didn't pick him, and that is Roy Keane, because he was absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. It's just because if you had Adams, Terry, Schmeichel, you know what I mean, all was captains, all in this team, would he settle in this team? Just for me, I know I'm picking like my best 11. I'm just thinking, would there have been a problem with leadership, you know what I mean, and things like all over the pitch? So that's the only reason why I didn't go with Roy Keane and I went with Stevie Gerrard. Because Stevie Gerrard, the amount of goals that he scored compared to Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, same as Frank Lampard, he scored more, but technically gifted at centre midfield, I thought was Steven Gerrard. So
he's a big game player as well, Gerrard, to be fair.
You've got a good point.
Yeah.
You've got a good point there on that.
Do you know what I was going to say
so what are you going for, Terry?
I'm going for Vieira and Gerrard, just for that reason of, you know what I mean? I don't know whether he would have fitted in Keane with all the other players. So for me, that's who I would go for.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say to her, right, the only reason, right, I think I really like Sir Lampard, right, because I like players. He made the most of what he had.
Yeah.
Right, which was absolutely brilliant. The only thing with Lampard, for me, he wasn't a big game player. Right? He a lot of goals against the smaller clubs. I never ever saw him dominate a big game. I never seen him do that, right?
Yeah.
And for that reason, that's why
half of his goals are deflections.
Yeah.
Half of his goals are deflections.
He did like a deflected shot. I agree.
No,
it's true. It's true. But do you know what, right? There was before we move on, there was one midfield I just wanted to shout out.
Do you know what, Claude? Do you know what? I would like to score a goal and have you on the judging panel to see if you're going to give it to me or not.
Half of his goals were deflections. I'm not having it.
That's all right. No. One last one I wanted to mention, right? He had a barnstorming season, and he was a one player, right? He was a midfield general for me, who I thought I would love to see him at the Arsenal. Unfortunately, the form tailed off. But for me, Michael Essien was an absolute beast.
Yeah,
beast.
Have a good one.
Do you remember him? And I thought,
what did
one season?
Top
beast.
Oh man,
Ali's got a point here.
Yeah, but the only thing
you don't score.
Yeah, the only thing with Essien, that hit and hope, the equaliser he got against that was a bit of a hit and hope to me. But anyway, when you denied us 3 points. Listen, no. I like Essien. I like Michael Essien. I thought he was look, we could have about 100 people in this, but
100 people, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, but I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, I think for me, you can't get a better combination than the one I've put out.
Yaya Toure, another one.
Discipline, goal scoring, discipline, everything about leadership. You can't beat him. Sorry. At least, and neither of them have fallen over on the halfway line, by the way.
So, who did we pick then? You picked Vieira and Keane, didn't you, Claude?
Yeah.
Chig, you picked Vieira and Keane?
Yep.
You picked Diesel, Gerrard, and Keane?
I think all players other than Gerrard have 3 votes.
So, Vieira and Keane, isn't it?
So, Kane's in.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Vieira and King.
Vieira and Keane, we're going for you?
Yeah, no doubt.
David Silva, that's another one.
This is one I will win. This is one when I will win on this one. No doubt about it.
All right, we'll let you have that one then, Claude. We'll let you have that. Vieira and Keane in midfield.
Listen, I've never seen, as I said, I've never seen either player fall over on the halfway line, so I've got to give it to them, innit?
No. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people would argue with that. To be honest, I mean, obviously you're going to have Gerrard and Lampard, and like we said, a few of the others. But realistically, if you see them 2 in your team this weekend,
50% of Lampard's goals were deflections. And I'm not having it. Not having it.
Right, no.
Can I also make it clear for people in the chat that don't sense the sarcasm? We were joking about Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
No, we weren't.
Savage, oh my God, these guys.
What I will say that joke. No, what I will say is a good pundit though.
Robbie Savage. Listen, the only thing I say about Robbie Savage is that he played for the badge all the time. He gave 120% when he went.
No, but he's a good pundit. He's a good pundit as well. No. Yeah,
Joey Barton.
He was
Joey Barton.
No comment. Let's go on.
Yeah, we've got Vieira and Keane in there.
No, we've got.
So let's go to the left wing.
We're going 4-4-2.
Yeah, we're going 4-4-2.
I'm going to pick two wide players here.
Go on in, mate.
And I'm going to go. Ryan Giggs and Robert Perez.
Oh, we're going left, are we?
No, he's picking both.
I was picking both. Okay.
Yeah. So you're having him as your right wing and left.
I think why I'm doing this, I think Perez can play on either side. So I'm going to go Ryan Giggs and Robert Perez.
And your reasons, Claude?
Play both sides as well.
Yeah. And your reasons, Claude? Your reasons?
Top players. Ryan Giggs, there's no reason to give. I mean, his consistency over the years is incredible, and Robert Perez is outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
When he first come to the Arsenal, yes, he took time to settle in, but I stuck by him, and I love him. I love him. I think he's one of the most. I don't think he's rated as highly as he should have been, and I think he's a wonderful footballer.
Okay, no problem. Diesel.
We're going left winger. Are we picking both left and right? Or are we just doing left first?
Yeah. Just gone left and right. Yeah.
So I picked on the left. I picked Ryan Giggs. He's another one of those players off the field. I don't like him. I think we all know why. But football-wise, as Claude said, you can't argue with the consistency over the years. Bear in mind, we're talking about the most decorated player, right, of all time in the Premier League. And to be honest, I mean, his consistency, even when he changed positions, he still played really well. He played until was it late 30s, 37, 38. You've got to give it to him. Energy levels and things like that. And also, but on the other side, see, I've picked Ronaldo, right? Normally, there's a part of me that thinks Ronaldo wasn't in the Premier League long enough to warrant that starting berth in this 11. But then I look at it and I think in the time he was here, I mean, the 42 goals from the flank is unheard of. I mean, it's just absolutely class. And he was another one who won games on his own. However, I do have a soft spot for Andre Kanchelskis, right? Because I like proper wingers with chalk on their boots, who are proper wingers. But yeah, I think Ronaldo just edges it for me. So Ronaldo and Giggs.
Okay.
The only thing with Ronaldo, I can understand the point. The only thing with Ronaldo, I think his best performances was when he left United.
Yeah.
I think the best of Ronaldo was at Real Madrid. But then it's opinions, isn't it?
Yeah. Chadwick Moffat's put Perez didn't play defence, Claude. Gareth Bale did.
What's that?
Chadwick put.
Sorry, go again.
Played defence, Claude. Gareth Bale did basically. So he played down the wing.
No. He's got the wrong Perez. He's got the other guy. No.
Lucas Perez.
Perez. Robert Perez. No.
He's got it wrong. He's
Curtis here. Hope you're good, mate. Anyone that's
Curtis. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Curtis. Right. You blew that chance in the final, right? You blew it. Right? I'm sorry. I love you again. Right? If you put that chance away, I love you to death, though. I do love you to death. But listen, Curtis, Ronaldo is his best performances for me are with Real Madrid, not with Man United.
Big up, Curtis. Yeah,
that's where he's shined, isn't it? That's where he's come good, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Ronaldo, he was good in the Premier League, but his best top level performances have been with Real Madrid. I don't understand all this.
Hang on. He elevated himself when he went to Real Madrid.
I love Curtis.
He was still levels above everyone else. Come on.
He let me down in that final with that miss. I'm sorry, Curtis. He let me down with that miss. We'd have lifted the trophy that night, and I'm still go on. Love you, Curtis.
Right. So Chig, it's down to you, mate.
Interesting that none of us have mentioned David Beckham.
Yeah. Well,
none of us.
Oh, come on.
Listen, you'd be surprised. The chat room.
This is football. This is football. No, Chig. This is football, not modelling. This is football, not modelling. Come on. Now, come on, Chig. Now, let's get this right. David Beckham was great because of,
by the way.
People love Beckham. People love Beckham because of his looks, right? Because he looked like a film star, right? Let's be honest. No. Come on. I know. You know, he's only got the Spice Girls. Yes, one of the Spice Girls. I think he could have got a better Spice Girl. But what I'm trying to say is you can't judge him on that, on his looks.
Claude, you can't leave it there. So which one's better than in the Spice Girls?
If we're going Spice Girls, then why did we not pick Jamie Redknapp in the midfield?
Yeah.
Oh.
McManaman, Redknapp, and Fowler, and that, weren't they? Bloody hell.
No, but
go on, Chig, it's your opinion, mate. Go on.
No, I was going to say, you could have some honourable mentions. So I think, you know, you could even put Freddie in there. He wasn't a natural winger, Freddie, but I thought he made he made that position great in the sense that, you know, you can't sniff at goals at the end of the day. And he used to get a hat full of them. So I thought he did very well in that position. For me, my wingers are simply Ryan Giggs. I know a lot of people don't particularly like the character outside of the pitch, but inside of the pitch, you can't deny his record. You can't. And then another one I hated with a passion growing up. So Ryan Giggs, especially that 1999 goal, still gives me nightmares. It still gives me nightmares. So why Patrick did just take him out? I'll never know.
There was about 5 people in there, Chig, that could have literally.
But Patrick's the one I always remember. Like, just take him out. Do what you do. Take him out, and he doesn't score that goal. Anyway, so yeah, you could put. So anyway, for me, I'm gonna go Giggs, and on the right, I'm gonna go Ronaldo. Ronaldo's in my team. I must admit, I take the points that he did.
I understand what you're saying, but are you going on Man United form? Are you going on what he's done at Rome?
Purely a player.
I'm going on what he's done in the Premier League.
I am going on United form. I think for me, I thought we started to see the real semblance of a great player. Plus, with right wingers, to be honest, Claude, there hasn't been an amazing abundance of amazing right wingers. And the ones that I always remember is Ronaldo. Yeah. So that's the
I
main.
agree with you, Chig.
Go on.
If you're going on, I agree with you. If you're going on form over his career, but we're going on the Premier League. I think for me, Ronaldo was good at me. It was top player, United. But I think he excelled when he went to Real Madrid.
Oh, I agree. He took it another level when he went to Madrid, 100%. But I think for the time that he was here, he made the biggest impact he could have possibly made. I think Ronaldo moving to Madrid and becoming a success, to me, obviously, yes, it moved on his career and he's become arguably one of the 2 best players in the world. But I just feel like in terms of right wingers, to me, there's not an abundance of choice. And I feel like, because I could make that argument for you, Claude, with the Perez thing. His main work came on the left-hand side. Ryan Giggs' main work came on the left-hand side. So I feel like if we're looking at...
Yeah, but I'm trying to pick... yeah, exactly. Maybe. All right. So what can I do? I mean, I'm thinking that... But I think Perez could play on both sides.
He could, but I feel like, for me, because there isn't a lot of choice. And I just
Perez
feel like...
can play on both sides.
Kind of like Diesel said, 42 goals in a season. I mean, my word. If a striker had got that over 2 seasons, we'd be happy.
Exactly.
So I feel like, to me, I feel like he's the outstanding choice. So I'd put Ronaldo on the right-hand side, in my opinion.
Okay. The blind Gooner, Daniel's put, hey, guys.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, that's another good one, Robin. Yeah, Robin's a good one.
Good choice.
But he didn't do it over. He done it over for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
he was very when he did play. When he did play, right, he was outstanding. A very outstanding player, but he didn't do it consistently like the other. Another good player. No, you can't pick everyone. Another good one.
Well, for me,
well done, Daniel. That was a good pick.
Yeah. Now, for me, obviously, same as you guys on the left, there's only one player, and that's Ryan Giggs. Like you said, there's not really much else to add, really. Fantastic player. Hated him for that goal, like Chig said, and it still bugs me now that 4 or 5 players just didn't fucking pull his shirt, pull him down, chop his leg down, anything. Do you know what I mean? But like someone said just a minute ago, I can't think who it was, saying that obviously Dennis Bergkamp missed the penalty that game and all that cost us. So,
That's true. That's true.
So it goes both ways, I suppose. But yeah, Giggs, like you said, and all Chig off the field, you know what he done. We all know what he done on that and got up to. Not a nice man or whatever, but on the pitch, it's all right. He's just, you know what I mean, fantastic goals, defending wise. He was all over the pitch. He was just a fantastic player. Now, for me on the right, I'm actually gonna agree with Claude here. Okay. Ronaldo, for me, his best days were after United. For me, they were. You know what I mean? He was a great player, don't get me wrong, for United, but his best days were at Real Madrid and elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's I had to go for David Beckham. For me, I did. With Beckham, I said, like, for me, I agree with you, Claude. Ronaldo's days were better at Real Madrid than that. I know he won the league and all that for United, but it weren't just him; it was the whole team that that played. But for me, David Beckham, I'm going to go with. I just think that he was brilliant. He's crossing off the ball. I mean, come on, boys! It was second to none. Do you know what I mean? As soon as that ball left his feet, any striker that was at United knew where to be and where to put that ball, where that ball was going to land. He was absolutely phenomenal. Free kick wise. You know what I mean? If he was at Arsenal with the players that we had at the time, oh my God! I mean, it would have just made us gone even further. I think, to be honest. So for me, I'm going to go with David Beckham.
One thing I would say, because people keep talking about Sane and
Mr. Terry, this is not a fashion show. This is not a fashion show. This is a football 11. It's not a fashion show. But anyway, all right, you go for David Beckham. Listen, no. I'm sorry about my internet tonight. It's doing an El Nenny on me. El Nenny on me.
El Nenny. Why did we pick him for the midfield?
My El Nenny's doing my internet tonight. I think El Nenny's operating my internet. So you're going for Beckham.
Yeah, hold up. Alexander's got a super chat. He said this list will be incomplete without Mane. Amazing.
Mane's a fantastic player. The only reason I'm not putting Liverpool players purely because, and I know this sounds like a crap excuse. This is just my honest opinion. They've not achieved the Premier League title yet. And the one thing I think all these players that we're talking about have in common is they've all had domestic success of some sort. And I feel like that is an important factor when you're talking about an all-time Premier League team.
Chig, you didn't say that earlier on when you picked Robbie Savage.
I knew I was listening to
You can't tell. You picked Jamie Barton.
He's the winner off the pitch, son.
Sorry. My bad.
I do like Mane. I think Mane is an excellent player.
So we've definitely got Giggs in, boys. It's just on the right. I think we've got who we got. I think it was Ronaldo. How many did he get?
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Man, I think I was Ronaldo. So 2 Ronaldos.
Oh yeah, and then we had a Perez and Beckham. So Ronaldo gets it.
Beckham.
Yeah. So Ronaldo gets it. Unfortunately, Claude, we didn't get our way, mate.
That's fine. No, it's all about opinions.
Exactly.
Terry, you can start off with your 2
This is going to be
Two
hard.
strikers.
Right,
This will be hard.
this is really hard, and a lot of people ain't going to agree with me here. I know
Yeah,
they're not,
same.
but you know what I mean. It's and you know the reason why in a minute. It's very obvious why. But I mean, there's so many people to pick from. So many people over the Premiership that has been fantastic. Shearer was fantastic. Owen, Fowler, you know, what was his name? Van Nistelrooy. You know, he was fantastic for United. You know what I mean? Scored goals for fun. Drogba, you know, Suarez. There was just so Wayne Rooney. But for me, there's only one that should be on that sheet straight away, and that's Thierry Henry, without a shadow of a doubt. Thierry Henry, for me, do you know what? You know what it is now? I'm just so gutted that I still can't watch a player of his ability. I don't think we appreciated a player of his ability at the time when we had him. If you know what I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal, and it didn't matter if we was losing by 4 goals. We always knew we had a chance if Thierry Henry was in our side of getting back into that game. Without him, there was no chance. I'm being honest. That's just personal. So for me, he could do amazing things with a ball. He could score amazing goals, and he could do it at any time in any game. Didn't matter if he was playing against the big teams or the small teams. He done it consistently. He was phenomenal. He was at the time for me the best player in the world. I don't care what anyone says. How on earth he didn't get the Ballon d'Or, I do not know. When he was playing for Arsenal, because he was fantastic. So for me, Thierry Henry is the first one, and the second one I'm going for. I know it's biased, but I'm going for Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp, unbelievable player. Unbelievable player. He could, you know what I mean? What he could do with a ball was phenomenal too. You know, he could be facing Dave Seaman in goal on the halfway line, and whoever was running past him, they knew where to run because Dennis Bergkamp would put that ball there. He was phenomenal, and that goal we scored against Newcastle, hands down, is one of the best goals you'll ever see in anywhere. To do that on an actual pitch is phenomenal for me. So for me, I'm going to go Henry and Bergkamp.
I'm gonna go last on this one. I'm gonna see what you. Gooner, I'm gonna go with Chig on this one. Next one.
Okay. For me, and this one I struggled with. I'm still struggling with this one. This one, before people in the chat room start going on, it's just opinions, mate. Don't let it keep you up at night. It's fine. Relax. You have your opinion. I have mine.
Exactly.
I discounted a lot of people. For me, Drogba was very close to getting in.
Yeah.
I thought he was a fantastic player. And if we're going on my normal rule, I hate Drogba for the reason he was so good. You know, there are other people that have banged in goals. Shearer, again, people forget he's a Premier League winner, technically, and has consistently scored goals. Yeah. And again, another one who's very close to getting in here. Sergio Aguero.
Yeah, another great shot.
Is an all-time legend. And to me, he was the one I genuinely struggled to not get into this team.
What, as well as Winter?
I still don't feel comfortable with him not being in this team. But he didn't make it either. And for that reason, I agree with you, Terry. My 2 up top are Henry and Bergkamp. I think Bergkamp, in my opinion, is one of the most genius footballers I've ever seen in my lifetime. And there was no way I could have Henry in and not have Bergkamp in, because for me, Bergkamp was our best player ever of all time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have felt comfortable not putting Henry in and not Dennis in. So that's the reason that I put. And I think Henry said it himself. He owes his career to Dennis. So you can't have Henry in there and not have Dennis in there. So I think for me personally, I have Dennis Bergkamp and I have Thierry Henry in the team. Those are my 2.
Okay, no, that's brilliant, Chig. Well done, mate. I totally agree with you. Cheddar's got a super chat here. Suarez in the 13-14 best Premier season for a second ever.
I mean,
Diesel.
he was a great player. He was a great player.
Yeah, see, Suarez is another one. You got Torres when he was at Liverpool. I've gone with two. This might be controversial. Do you guys remember Mark Stein at Chelsea?
Babe. Babe, I can see where you're going immediately. Babe.
And Chris Sutton. No, I'm joking. Wrong list. Right. I've gone. So, yeah, Thierry Henry, banker.
Do you mean Brian Stein? No, is it Brian Stein?
No, it was Mark Stein, wasn't it? Little one, little 5'2".
Oh yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I'm working on another list. Thierry Henry for me. Now the next position was tough, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I'm going to take right. So I'm going to tell you who I've picked, and the only reason I've picked this guy is because you just can't argue, right, with what he did. I'm not necessarily saying he's a better player, but in terms of the team I've got and strikers, I'm looking for goals. I have to put Alan Shearer in. I have to. Look, I love Bergkamp. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's Henry's got to go in because for me, his genius, his trickery, his pace. He's a magician, an artist. And obviously so is Bergkamp, but I just can't. I can't pick an all-time 11 and not have Alan Shearer in it. I just can't do it. So for me, I've got to pick Shearer and Henry.
Okay, that's all right. Chadwick has put little bias, guys. I forgot all about this geezer and all laugh out loud. How about Cantona? He was a fantastic player too.
Yeah, Cantona comes into the equation, and I love the kick he done out of that guy. I think he deserved it, and I don't know why he got banned for it. But, to be honest with you, he should have got a knighthood for it. Actually,
I forgot about these two.
You also forget
no, hold on. No, he should have got a knighthood for that because what that guy done was just, if you slag my mother off, you get a kung fu kick, mate. Anyway, let's go on to the two I'm going to pick, and you're going to be surprised here. I'm going to go for Dennis Bergkamp because I think I don't think there's a better player for me, and this is not being biased, that's graced the Premiership. And the second one, I'm going to go for Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm going for Drogba, because when it mattered in a European final, he produced.
Yeah.
Whereas I love Henry. I love Henry to bits. Don't get me wrong, but when it came to cup finals, he didn't perform. I don't know why. For some reason, cup finals wasn't for him.
Mm.
But in the Champions League final, when you're one-on-one on a keeper in Paris, you've got to bury it.
Yeah, agreed.
And I'm sorry, and this is the reason I'm going for Didier Drogba because he won the Champions League for Chelsea, and that still hurts me now. So I'm going to go for Drogba and Bergkamp.
And let's face it, Senderoff still has nightmares about Drogba. Still has nightmares. I mean, he's bullying him regularly. So, and I think with Drogba, not just because of the Champions League, I think he was unplayable. Yeah, me too.
When at his best, in his prime, he was unplayable. Great striker.
We've got a super chat here from Alexander. He put, people forgot Bergkamp was the best player in the world in his heyday. He was an exceptional player, absolute brilliant. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, he was a brilliant player. And I see people like the quality player in the chat room has just been criticising all day long and has not seen that we've all put non-Arsenal players in the team. But, each their own, whatever narrative suits. But I feel like I explained it well enough. I think when the man himself, Thierry, says he owes his career, he owes his form, he owes his goals to one man, and that's Dennis Bergkamp. I think you've got to put Dennis in. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. The reason I mean, that exactly what I'm trying to say. I just thought he was unplayable, Drogba. I just thought he was an unplayable player. Incredible player. That's why I picked him. But obviously, this is it. We're a bit biased on the front two there. But here we go. That's how it goes.
Well, guys, we've come to it. This is our best 11 Premiership side. By the four of us, we've got Schmeichel in goal. We've got Gary Neville at right back. We've got Tony Adams and John Terry in centre back, and Ashley Cole left back. We've got Ryan Giggs left wing. We've got Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira in the middle, with Cristiano Ronaldo on the right. And then up front, we have got Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp. What a phenomenal teams in my eyes, boys. I don't know about you. What would you say about that, Claude?
I've got a question for you guys. Who would be captain?
No, it's a phenomenal team, and I think we'll wipe the floor now. Considering what I wouldn't mind this team at Arsenal. To be honest with you,
that's a great question from Chig there.
Good question. Good question.
Ask it again, Chig.
Who would be captain of this team?
Go on, Claude. You can go first. Everyone in the comments, let us know who your captain would be. Go on, Claude.
There's only one captain. There's only one captain for me. Tony Adams.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Diesel.
Yeah, Adams. Adams. Roy Keane, vice captain.
Yeah.
You do the same.
Agreed. I think Adams, Keane as vice, and I think you're good to go. What's amazing about this side is you could pick nine.
My internet is bad at the moment, but it's like there's so many leaders in this team as well.
Yeah.
If you look,
you wouldn't need a manager, would you? You wouldn't need a manager.
I mean, exactly. Everyone is exactly right there. Tony Adams is, without that, the main captain, and obviously Roy Keane would be second to that. And as you said, Claude, I mean, everyone is a leader in their own right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you got even Neville's a leader for me as well. Neville can be. He could run a trade union, Gary Neville. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Is there's a lot of leadership in there. A lot of leadership.
Yeah. So, all right then. A couple of people have asked in the comments, who would your manager be? Let's go with manager. Claude, who would your manager be?
It's a difficult one, but I'm going to go. I have to go Ferguson.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Any comments on Ferguson, or you just going Ferguson?
I'm going to go Ferguson because you just got to look at the history. I think he's had everything. He didn't stand any nonsense. He didn't let players do what the fuck they want. And for me, Ferguson was a proper leader for me. That's it.
Okay. Diesel.
Well, you could go Brian Clough, but Brian Clough was before the Premier League. But Brian Clough towards the end of the Premier League was coming to an end. But Brian Clough was a great leader as well.
Yeah. Okay, Diesel.
Yeah, listen, if I was biased, I'd say George Graham. I am a George Graham man. He's still my favourite ever Arsenal manager.
Yeah, I love George Graham.
I love George Graham. I love him. I like a proper manager. I like a manager to be a manager, a proper gaffer who don't take no nonsense. But I can't be biased on this. You can't look past Sir Alex Ferguson. You can't.
Yeah.
For how much he's won, and also the amount of times he changed his backroom staff, kept it fresh. Never let these players rest on their laurels. He always got one or two big signings in to keep it fresh and keep everyone on their toes. And let's be honest, lads, right? We've even said it earlier on. When you look at the likes of Yap Stam and Roy Keane, these are big players, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you cross this, man, you're out.
Exactly.
Right? And I love that mentality of there is one boss here, that's me. Cross me, you're gone. I don't care who you are. I love that. So for me, it's got to be Ferguson.
I totally agree with you there, Diesel.
Well, according to Seamus and the Quality Player, with bias. So this should make him happy. I'd give it to Fergie all day long. I think Fergie, because you're looking at 11 massive characters, and it's going to need a manager of his pedigree, of his experience, and of his know-how to manage a team of winners and a team of legends. And I think only Fergie could do that. 1996, Wenger maybe. 1998, Wenger maybe. But I think for me, I think you can't look past Fergie. I actually think Diesel's point is a valid one. You almost need an old school manager for that type of old school team.
Yeah.
And I think Fergie would do that, would do brilliantly with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a comment about Brian Clough. Brian Clough, for me, in my era, is the greatest ever manager, because what he done with Nottingham Forest is incredible. Take them up from the second division to the first and win it, the league title, and then go on to win the European Cup is amazing. But Brian Clough was towards the end, the Premier League was on a downslide. But what I'm trying to say, Brian Clough, for me, if you're going to go past the Premier League, is the greatest manager ever.
Yeah. Alexander's put Sir Bobby Robson all day long. Thank you for your super chat.
Another top manager, another top guy.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't remember everyone's name, but another top guy.
For me, I've got to say the same, really. Alex Ferguson, and just want to add a little bit on what Diesel was saying. He kept everything fresh, and he done that every single year, and that's what I hated about Wenger in the end. You know,
yes.
because you know, even when Man United won the league, he would still go at Ferguson and buy that one player that would push them to win the league next season. Whereas Wenger wouldn't do that, and he done that with Van Persie. I know Van Persie, you know, we liked him and whatever, but Alex Ferguson knew if you got Van Persie for that last year he was there, they would win the league. And you got to give it to him. Ferguson, you got to big him up. And like Diesel said, if you fuck with him, then I'm sorry, you're out. I don't care who you are, how big you are, or what you are. Do you know what I mean? You're out. The blind Gooner super chat here put, what about Guardiola?
Yeah.
Great manager.
Yeah, but too early to go. Guardiola's had a lot of money behind him as well. What you got to understand, that's a good point, but he's also had a lot of backing as well. I don't know. He's a top guy as well, but when you can't put Guardiola, he's still a young manager. Maybe in 10, 15 years' time, we'll be talking about Guardiola. But at the moment, it's still early.
And Chadwick's put Claude loved Mick McCarthy.
No.
Right, so that was our all-time Premiership 11. Great side, great team we picked there, boys. We've been going.
A lot of leaders in that team, you know. A lot of leaders.
A lot of captains, ex-captains, and all. Like a couple of people have been saying, most of them are all ex-captains that we've picked.
Yeah, so, you can see we like leaders, basically.
Yeah. Right, we've been going for an hour and 25 minutes now, so I think we should wrap.
Right. I mean, I hope everyone agrees with it. I know there's a lot of players that were left out, but you can only pick 11.
Exactly.
And that's how hard it is. Yes, Alan Shearer is a great Premier League striker. I agree.
He is.
And there were a lot of players there that didn't get in.
Listen, I mean, what you got to remember is
players that I picked didn't get in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm the voice of reason. I'm the voice of reason on this channel.
Well,
but I am the voice of reason, and I didn't get players in. You know what I'm saying?
Alexander, thank you for using another super chat. He's put good show, guys. Highly entertaining on my 60th birthday. Happy birthday, Alexander.
Happy birthday, Alex. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to look at is obviously, you know, different supporters of different clubs will probably put a few more of their own sort of players in there. Yeah. They've got an affiliation to them sort of players. It's exactly the same as us. I mean, it's just our opinion, guys. That's all it is. We're not saying that definitely the best 11. That is just our best 11. You know what I mean? That's our best 11. So I just want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. You've been fantastic, helping us get through this. The choices here. I want to thank Chig for coming on. My first time being on a chat show with you, mate. You've been absolutely brilliant, and love to have you back on again soon, mate.
Thank you, man. Anytime, Claude.
Chig,
Claude.
Chig.
Anytime.
Cheers, Chig. Nice
I
one.
wish you was part of my channel, mate, because you're fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
Fantastic guy, and I love Chig. I love Chig, man.
Yeah,
I love him
you,
to death, man.
Top man.
You know I love you, Chig, don't you? Always. And he only one of the few guys that gives me respect and puts me on his channel. One of the few guys. Fucking total respect, Chig. Love you, man.
We've got to big you up, man. If you put in Happy Box Man on your show, then obviously you've got nothing.
No, I love Chig because he gives me respect. And there's not many people like Chig that give me the same respect, and I love Chig.
Thank you. And like I do with Claude, Diesel Terry, I'd love to have you on the show at some time.
Yeah, man.
Just if we can help your channel, mate, we'll integrate, and I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
happily.
Yeah.
And thank you for just up your Easter Sunday and all.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just say there's
You
a
know
lot of
what I
people
don't
watching.
understand, Chig? You know what I don't understand, Chig? Is that I got this 20k. You should be past me because you're more talented than me. I'm.
I don't know about all that, mate.
I know, but this is what I don't understand. This is what it's not right. It isn't right. You're a very talented guy, and I want to boost your channel up, man.
No, everyone.
I always respect. No. This guy is one of them. I love. I watch all his shows. I love watching it. And
Yeah, me too, mate. I love his shit.
I can't
just
speak
about to
highly
say.
enough of him. Him, Lee Danner.
Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
I was just about to say, there's obviously a lot of people tuning in. And as we were just saying, Gooner Eye, subscribe to us. Listen, I will always shout out that I watch and I respect. And Chig's got two, Gooner Eye, and also Chig Flicks. Chig's part of the reason why there's a lot of things I'm watching, and I've really enjoyed. So thank you, mate. So please subscribe to me, top man.
Thank you.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty that fucking 20,000 watch me. It's a travesty.
Chig, like I said to you on the messages the other day, I'm sure that's you on TalkSport Radio, mate. You've got a request, mate. I'm telling you.
I wish I was getting a TalkSport check. Let me tell you. I'm probably, no, it's not me. It's not me.
No, thank you very much for coming on, Chig. We really appreciate it.
Cheers. And I hope you're coming on a bit more regular, yeah?
Let me know.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
I'd love you on my channel. I want to have you on my channel a lot more because I want people to know what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
Thank you for coming on and all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diesel.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it did go quiet.
Bless.
I'm still waiting for that bird to come alongside on that post, by that post. So you can mark it off.
Mate, I'm trying, but she prefers you, Claude.
No, but all you could do, then you can mark it off. Yeah, I see a few on the bedpost that you've marked off already.
That's just a couple of dents.
Hold up, we've got a quick super chat before we go. Alexander Chig is extremely knowledgeable. I agree.
Of course, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Just before we go, Claude, there's only one more.
By the way, Alexander, happy birthday! If it is your 60th birthday, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Alex. Happy birthday.
There's only one more.
I've got to pop out soon because I've got a mental health issue to sort out in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
We've got a mental health night tonight as well.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. Everyone, please come and join us again at 7 o'clock tonight. We've got our mental health show with our other fellow Bansta, Lev, and our expert Alex de Silva from Appy as Larry. Great shows. If you're struggling a little bit or anything like that, come along and get involved in the chat. And Alex and Lev will, hopefully try and make.
I think also, what I've got to say, Terry, it's an important time to get involved in this because this is a hard time now. There's a lot of people are struggling with mental health. There's everything, as you know, there's a lot of people are struggling, me included. with all this crap that's fucking stuck in one room, but with a landlady that's a total arsehole. But you know what I'm saying? But everyone is struggling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I hope she's not in the chat.
If she is, I couldn't give a shit if she was. But anyway, all I'm saying is it's a total struggle for all of us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people with a lot of issues that can't get out and think, you know, people like to get out because they've got that mental problem. They want to get out, they can't get out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are struggling with this. And this is where it's not a good time. But we have to go on, and we have to remember the people, not only these celebrities, all the people that have passed away through this illness. We have to remember them as well, because we're all human beings. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that have lost their lives, whether they're a celebrity or a human being like me. You know what I mean? So, you know, we've got to remember all this.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from here?
Yeah. I totally agree with everything you said.
And Alexander's coming with a late comment. Well, just in a night injury time. Can you read that out, Terry?
Oh, okay. Alex is an expert apparently in this area.
Called, I run facilities with individuals with MH. Reach out. I am an expert. Definitely, Alexander.
Alexander, if you want to come on our mental health program,
give
me a line. Let us know, and we'll get you involved.
Send me or Lev or Diesel or Claude a message, Alexander, and we'll get you on Twitter.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's great. Thank you very much for that.
So once again, thank you everyone in the comments. And Claude, there's just one more last thing to do.
It's time to go.
Good night, everyone.